that that's a good idea?
Yes. Given the alternatives, absolutely. I've been one of his harshest critics, but I do think that we shouldn't reward obstructionism, and that would be the legacy of him losing, I'm afraid. So,
Jeremy, how do you feel about Black Friday shopping?
I never participated. I haven't participated in my whole life.
How do you feel about people who participate in Black Friday shopping?
All the power to them, as long as they don't stomp each other in line, and that's kind of the worst of consumerism, but I really have no objections to it one way or the other. I have indifference to it. How do I feel about Alex? I'm very excited for her. She's withholding vital information about her significant other. She denies having one. I know there is one. Hopefully, my undercover work will reveal who that individual is. Alex has been working extremely hard on her physical fitness and deserves a lot of credit. She's a role model for me as I push extremely hard myself to try to undo some of 2012 damage.
And what kind of damage did you do to yourself in 2011?
Well, I was so... 2011, I'm sorry, I'm a year ahead of myself. In 2011, I was involved in a course that was 3 nights a week, 4 hours per day, so 12 hours per week, just of coursework. And I really slipped up in my workouts, and there's a direct correlation between not working out and eating wrong and eating too much.
What is the worst thing that you ate in 2011?
Where does one start? It's not that Hostess cupcakes are that bad in moderation, but eating them for meals and ad nauseum is probably the real product of my downfall. So I will get this ship righted though. I'll be back to the picture of me flexing my bicep and pictures with you in no time.
Jeremy, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about a man that has cats?
A man that has cats? Indifference. Indifference.
What kind of judgments would you make?
Well, I suppose you can make the judgment that he's an animal lover, that he's a low maintenance animal lover. He's looking for an animal who doesn't have to invest a lot of time and energy and resources in. I don't want to make any type of gender-related judgments, so I don't think there are any to make. So indifference, otherwise.
And how do you feel about Long John Silver's?
I've never eaten there in my entire life, and I don't think I better start because it's not one of the healthier eating options.
Jeremy, let me ask you a question. Would you be interested in trying the new clam shake from Long John Silver's?
No. I think I'm not a good moderation sweets eater. So if I am...
And a milkshake that tastes like clams does not sound
No, it
appealing.
doesn't really appeal to me much. Now, if you had that, there might be some dire consequences later for Soraya and anybody in your presence.
Jeremy, let me ask you a question. Do you wear sunscreen on a daily basis?
I do not. Very neglectful of taking care of my skin.
Would you be interested in trying out a new sunscreen that smells like ham?
Although I did have lots of ham for Thanksgiving and love that item, I don't think that's something that would appeal to me. More importantly, those around me. Yes. But Alex, I'm very proud of you. You have sent me some text messages this year that have really
made an impact.
Enlivened my spirits.
And what would you say is the text message that most stood out for you?
I know this is PG, so I really can't get into too many details, but it's something to do with having to do one thing twice, another thing 10 times. And they don't want to embarrass you publicly. And that the house depreciated in value $40,000. That would be the greatest text message, besides the ones I get from Agata on a daily basis.
Yeah. And what one that Agata sent you stood out the most?
I think when she wrote that the mortar is getting stronger, I was most moved. That was a metaphor that we used to describe the strengthening of the relationship. And that one really made a pretty profound impact on me at an early stage.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Where do you see your life 2 years from now?
Oh boy, I just try to live day to day. I definitely think 2 years from now I will still be paying homage to your father on a daily basis. Can
we get an impersonation?
You want an impersonation right now?
Yeah.
I love you, baby, now. You've been good to me, kid. That would be the more kinder version of it. If you want an angrier version, it'd be more like, get out of here! Shut up! Making me ill. Those would be the impressions of the late, great, fat Tony Roberts. Lovely, lovely man. Kind soul. One of the truly most influential, eccentric, interesting, charismatic people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. I told several people recently that when I would come to Tucson for a vacation, one of the first things I would do is get in touch with my dad, and I would say very forcefully in regards to Tony, book him. And that meant line up some plans with him because I wanted to see him. And I don't think I've laughed as hard as I've laughed around him since he went to the Promised Land.
Would you say that Tony Roberts was a huge impact on your life?
Yes, that's a fair thing to say, absolutely. He was a tremendous impact. He was very positive and uplifting, but very realistic and I guess that's it, realistic.
What advice would you say was the advice that stood out the most for you that he gave you?
I can't think of anything in particular. He did say, "Get out of here," once or twice, and I followed the instructions.
Any baseball advice?
He was always very positive. He always thought that there was talent underneath what my early struggles in Little League. He was very, very certain that once I filled out physically and matured emotionally, that I was going to be successful. And thankfully, I was able to an extent, prove him right.